What's up, boys and girls? Coach Nick here. Today I wanted to talk about the importance of the exhale. Now, the diaphragm is this muscle, if you can see this picture. When you fully exhale, the picture's really small, sorry, that was dumb of me, right? When you fully exhale, the diaphragm comes up to about the 7th or 8th rib, okay? It comes up into this dome. It helps to push CO2 out. Then when you inhale, the diaphragm comes down to about the 12th rib to create a vacuum effect so oxygen can rush in and fill in our lungs. Now, as a society, we are constantly stressed. And if you recall from a previous video, when we are stressed, we need to bring in more O2. What's the action for bringing in more O2? Inhalation. Now, if we're constantly stressed, we're constantly in a state of inhalation, which will alter our breathing mechanics. Okay, so when people are stressed, you hear people say, oh, just take a deep breath. When sometimes you just need to take a big, or let's say you need to just let a big exhale go, right? So if we inhale, our diaphragm comes flat. We exhale, we come up into this dome shape. Obviously, this is not to size or scale, but what happens if we're constantly stressed or in a state of inhalation is we kind of sit here where our diaphragm sits, almost in that semi-flat state. And this is what can cause stress on the psoas, as we talked about in a previous video, is because it almost constricts that psoas so it doesn't move. And then that's when you start to, the psoas will get tight, it'll kind of pull you forward. The diaphragm's now tight, and everything just gets tight in here, all because the diaphragm's not getting full movement. So think about with like your elbow, right? Not that it's the same, but if you don't move your elbow fully, or you put a cast on it, and then 6 months you take it off, it's hard to move. If you don't fully use your diaphragm, well, somebody needs to help out with the diaphragm so it can move and can do diaphragm things, which is where it may recruit some musculature from your back, from your chest, from your sides, or other parts of your body. The reason you want to fully exhale, especially if you're in a constant state of stress or sympathetic tone, is there are receptors on the diaphragm that with the 10th cranial nerve or the vagal nerve that travel all the way up to your brain. So if you fully exhale, it'll send a signal up to the brain to actually tell your heart rate to slow down. So it has to do with heart rate variability, which is how fast your heart is beating from beat to beat. If you fully exhale and take just a shorter inhale, you'll actually be able to get yourself from a sympathetic state, fight or flight, to a parasympathetic state of rest and recover. The exhale is extremely important. So when I teach clients with their breathing, I do what's called an 8, 4, 6, 8 cadence. What that means, it's an 8-second exhale, a 4-second inhale through the nose, hold for 6 with an 8-second exhale out. Now, when I'm talking this 8-second exhale, there should be a full exhale with pursed lips, like a duck face, and you fully exhale and get all of the CO2 out of your lungs, which will trigger a reflex to inhale and kind of let your brain know, like, hey, I got this, I don't need the stress response, and you almost feel a calming effect within about 5 breaths. Okay, 5 cycles. You should be able to do about 4 to 5 breaths per minute with this cadence. So next time you're stressed or having trouble sleeping, focus on this 8, 4, 6, 8 cadence. And that is why the exhale is extremely important to your health.